and Jones to Ablett.
So Jones with Ablett, Stephen with Riscatelli at the moment. Now it's McAvoy against Fraser at the start of the game. Round 19 underway. There's a holding kick. Straight away, Del Santo will win the free kick.
And you got Goddard running off half-back too, Matt.
So your best two form players into the game straight away. Goddard's kick. Chance here straight away to Ryan Gamble on the left boot around the corner. A little bit too much hook on it across the face. The opening score to the Saints.
Yeah, as you said, Matty, key players involved and Gamble on the end of it. But Del Santo and Goddard will be keys. Now, this is a key situation for the Gold Coast Suns to effectively get the ball out of their defensive half.
Burnell was jumping over the top and then sharked it pretty well. Back to Hunt. Handball longer. May back inside Burnell, but unfortunately May couldn't keep the ball in play.
Yeah, I think that's going to be key tonight, Al. Just those kick-ins, anything in the Saints forward 50 when the Gold Coast Suns get hold. There's going to be plenty of pressure down there.
I reckon you might be blowing more than me, actually, Brucey.
I think I did it harder. you were up the stairs, I was going flat out, and you were holding back a little bit there, Matty.
You mightn't have seen too much of this young man, but he's been very good this season. He's come in the last half a dozen games. And Rory Thompson's been quite an addition to the back half.
This is Fraser. Great to see Roosie climb up the front of the grandstand.
Yeah.
High ball, but it should suit St Kilda as McAvoy is able to drop back into the hole and take a comfortable mark.
Yeah, they just can't afford to be too much of that. Josh Fraser just banging it down the line. His opposition, Bruckman, McAvoy taking the mark. They've really got to look to just try and chip it around in that situation. They did get held up, which allowed St Kilda to set up that press through the midfield. So you just got to be a little bit more patient, not bomb the ball.
And that was really successful part of St Kilda's game last week, getting big numbers behind the ball and just the long bombs going to tip it were ineffective.
Well, very successful switch. They've gone all the way around the ground, and Schneider very cleverly kept it in, got rid of McKenzie, found himself in some space, kicks into the pocket. Unfortunately, couldn't find his man in the pocket, which was Armitage.
I think that was a difference in experience there, Matty. You saw Josh Fraser kick it down the line. When St Kilda got, they actually were able to chip it around and switch. Now that's just experience and a team that's been playing together for a long time.
Fraser made good position from the throw-in, ducks under the tackle, clearing kick outside his 50 now. First two at Goddard off the ground, gets it to spin in the air, not easy to do. Ablett sees it over.
These are really dangerous situations for the Gold Coast Suns, Lynchy. Just the forward stoppages. St Kilda generally pretty good at those. Maybe a wrap around here with Milne or someone like that.
You would expect Milne to be on the move through this stoppage.
Well, Jones was. He got a quick handball from Montagna. Needs it to bounce around. It doesn't.
Just didn't quite grip enough from Quinton Jones. And certainly the Saints have had all the possession at the moment.
I think that's where Ablett's got to be a bit careful too. If he thinks Jones is just a hard tagger that's not going to get the ball, he's mistaken. And he just got blocked a little bit there, Ablett, by Milne. And Jones is capable of winning the ball himself and getting a few important touches.
Well, I think that's where Jones really improved his game over the last few years. He was a hard-working nullifier, but now he hurts you out of the way.
Precision passing from the Suns in their back line. That last one from Ablett to Riscatelli. Riscatelli couldn't continue in that vein. He's looking for Lynch.
Yeah, that's a bit better. I like that, Matty. Just chip it around, just take the pace off it. And you've seen they've got it now to centre wing and they get a chance to set up a stoppage.
You mentioned at the start, Brucey, that at times they're going to have to try and control the tempo themselves instead of being reactive to what the Saints do. They've got to be reactive here as Jones easily gets around Hunt, kicks it to the advantage of Peake. It's a good kick. He could run into the hole. He couldn't take it. Gets some help now from Gamble. Have to be careful here. He's dragged that in and he's in trouble. Bingo.
Yeah, once again, Jones getting off Ablett though, Matty. It's interesting around the stoppages. He certainly in terrific form, as we know, Gary Ablett. He can't let himself down defensively either.
Oh, nice work from Tom Lynch. Just the kick wasn't good enough.
Yeah, kick was a little bit low and couldn't get to him, but he steals it away from Goddard Lynch, and he's going back for a second effort. He's got to beat three. He just scooped it out the back so Weller could soccer it forward. So in the end, they get a boundary throw-in.
Well, not too often you see two Tom Lynches in one game. And there's Tom Lynch for the Suns there from the Dandenong Stingrays, and Tom Lynch with St Kilda from Sandringham Dragons.
No doubt Matty would have done his research and given us the middle names here, Al.
He would have split up. He's just delving into the notes.
Aloysius and Al, as we've got a chance here for Milne. Switch it back through the middle. Goddard. Now some run from Graham. Open goal square, decides he'll go himself, but it's a straight.
Yeah, they've just got to really watch Goddard off half back. I'm just trying to pick up who might be his direct opponent. He's really running off, and certainly a really nice switch ball from Milne coming across to the centre of the ground. And
Goddard's already set up two of those inside 50s. It's 5-0 at the moment in favour of the Saints, obviously, but the result is only 3 points.
Essentially, the Suns haven't really looked like getting inside their forward 50 as yet.
No, I wouldn't think they've had an effective disposal inside the forward half.
Yep. And again, they've got trouble getting it out. This time, Cracker, who started on the bench, taps it to Ablett. Slipped a very quick handball to Riscatelli. Goes to ground, but got it to Harbrow. Weller shoulders his arms. Pressed here. Riscatelli, good pressure, the Saints. Back to Hunt, who straightens everything up and tumbles it forward. It may actually work, though. Stanley, Peak, spinning out of trouble. Again, quick hands from the Saints. Fires back to McAvoy. Big switch. He wants Debster. Dangerous kick, though. Spoil came from Brennan. Chance here for the Suns this time. Harbrow off a step. Kicks it over the top of Smith. No crumb up.
Got no support at all.
He's laid a good tackle, but now he runs out of options because there was 4 on the 1. Fisher just steadies it with a short kick to Gamble.
He's a terrific athlete, Smith, isn't he? He's just even there, like he was outnumbered, but he just slays the tackle, gets to a high ball and gets the ball to ground, lays a really nice tackle. Downfield, bit undisciplined there.
Yeah, just late contact. I think it was young May.
So the Saints through Ray, out to Peak. He has got plenty of space to work in here. He's got time to just chip it towards Armitage. And given the amount of time he had, it was a terrible kick.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of the criticism of Peak, although he's been terrific the last 8 weeks, but he can tumble the ball with a bit of time and space.
Now they go again. Ray's kick is low and hard under the chest, down low of Armitage.
Well, that was well done from Ray to identify Armitage short. So the long, short darting pass, because Nathan Bock had dropped off the contest.
Designated kicker here is Peak, 52 metres out, gets plenty of distance on it, and does his job, finishes off. That's the opening goal of the night.
Just after I mentioned he can tumble one, he hit one from about 55, absolutely magnificently. Really good play there, just smart, seeing the ball coming in. Probably the worry at the moment for the Suns is they just haven't really worked their matchups too well. Really nice kick from Farron Ray. Probably first composed possession inside 50 and then a handball off the Peak, and he did hit that really, really nicely. Went through from sort of 52, 55 metres out.
Excellent finish from Brett Peak, the former Docker.
It was very good work. That's just something the Gold Coast Suns, again, got to be careful of. They're pushing big numbers back, working hard defensively, but you just can't allow free players at 60 metres out from goal when there's a stoppage or a free kick.
Back in the middle, this time Ablett, as he so often does, just accelerates away from the contest. Got it to Jolly, then turned to Smith, makes it hard for Weller, but he picks it up cleanly on the half volley. It's back to Jolly. And they worked it to Riscatelli, who ran hard to create an option, and then he hits the chest of Fraser. That's better.
Just Smith going into the ruck for the first time. They started with Josh Fraser in the ruck. He had an immediate impact, went after the football after the centre bounce, and eventually Josh Fraser on the end of it.
But he runs and spreads so well, as you said. He's a very good athlete. I think he's in the top 5 over 400 at the Suns, so he's got that good endurance and speed combination.
7 inside 50 St Kilda. This is the first for the Suns. A very tight angle, as you can see. Almost no room for Fraser to work. And it's always going to be on the inside, but it is a score for the Suns.
Yeah, that was better. Yeah, Gary Ablett, when he's in any centre bounce around the stoppage, is just so clean with his hands, as we can see him going off, followed by Jones going off with him. But when he gets involved, he certainly does make things happen.
Around the boundary, the Saints go, and this is Schneider.
It's always a good indicator of a team whether you switched on, how quickly you get your defensive structures in place. And the Suns have done pretty well, may get a reward.
They certainly may. Prestier is trying to, well, in the end, Dawson walked that over and we'll have a boundary throw, and it was nice and tough.
Well, that was a reasonably well-disguised deliberate out of bounds. So just gave enough for the umpire to hang his hat on that it wasn't absolutely deliberate, but it was.
So a chance for the Suns if they can set up, but it was an easy knock there for Gilbert. Very quick reflex give from Graham to Stephen, and that allows the kick to fall onto the chest of Tom Lynch.
Yeah, once again, the Saints trying to switch the ball. Snyder messed the last one up, but this is their style of play. If they do get, they're not going to go down the line. They're going to switch it and try and move the ball around, move that defensive zone of Gold Coast around and try and work the ball through like they have here and get to a forward. Snyder's really good at running up and back into the forward line.
He's proving difficult at the moment, isn't he? It's only early days with Snyder getting free onto the chest of Gamble. Into the pocket. He's going to run out of room there. Goddard just in play.
They just got it in.
We just saw Fraser from a very tight angle. This one even tighter.
It'd be interesting if he tries to hit a target here. Allo has a shot. He'd probably prefer to hit the target.
I'd rather be back in Goddard than Fraser.
Check side, coming back, but not far enough. As you know, they often go back the other way after about 45 metres.
They do, especially if I hit them as well. They go 3 ways.
It's a long way for a check side, though, isn't it? I mean, normally sort of that 10 metres around from the post, but when you're starting to get that far out, it's really hard to control them.
Just kick an inside-out drop punt. Just get a reverse left to right. Lynch, not paid, crowd not happy. McKenzie, little give to Prestia. Got free, Cracker couldn't. Chance here, St Kilda. Ray to ground. Swallow in and over hard. It's been a slow start for him. We heard from Lee Colbert at the start. Swallow will have a tough job tonight, and that's the first time he's got near the ball. Yeah,
Swallow, who gets some close attention for the remainder of his career. He's been a star youngster. Goddard has been very good. 5 disposals so far.
Schneider on hands and knees. McAvoy, that's good. Out to Montagna, back to Goddard. They're going back, the Saints, but they maintain possession. Ray around the corner. Stephen, it bounces off his chest. Smith wins the free kick.
Well, Rosie, I mean, St Kilda are getting their hands on the ball, but must compliment the Suns. They've been able to push the Saints wide. They haven't been able to enter the 50 too often through the centre corridor.
Yeah, I think the Suns have started okay, even though they haven't got a lot of inside 50s. They look like they're getting their structures you mentioned before in place pretty quickly. Defensive structure, tackling okay. I think Smith moving into the ruck's made a change as well. Once again, he gets down and gets a ground ball and a free kick.
They're very reliant on midfield goals, or at least the likes of Brennan and Stanley and Ablett, when they rest forward, they're the ones kicking goals. The delivery to the likes of Dixon when he was in and Tom Lynch is pretty tough.
They're going to get a chance to send it back in. The kick from McAvoy out of bounds on the full. Brown will kick it in.
I think as a young team, they're still trying to work out their forward structures and their ball movement. And I think we mentioned before the game that they've played a lot of players this year, so it is hard to get any sort of consistency with your ball movement going forward when your key players, your key forwards are continually in and out of the side.
Brown forced to kick to a pack here, and that suits McAvoy, the man who kicked it out in the first place. So the tones.
It was well done from Dawson off the back of the pack to block and protect McAvoy.
Fisher to Dempster, and a bad error from him. But what he did well was as soon as he made the error, he was back for the tackle.
Yeah, they're not sort of super crisp at the moment, the Saints, are they, really? The ball movement was a little bit sloppy with some kicks across the half-back. We've seen Snyder, we've seen Dempster there just making a mistake as well.
Quick hands again in from Stephen, got it from Ray. A good spread here from Dawson. Next kick has to be good, though. Well, he's decided to handball through to Clark, and they get some run through the middle, but it's a little bit messy from Jones to Graham. Fisher kept going. He's a bit sore after that contest. Ablett comes away with the footy, sees an open goal square, and skids it through for a behind.
And once again, defensive structures and pressures right up for the Gold Coast, create a turnover. They're going to have to make the most of those opportunities if they're going to really challenge the Saints, but they're making a good fist of it so far.
And they're still pressing here as Gilbert peels off to be the outlet man, and he takes it. Milne and Brown. Brennan committed himself. Hunt tried to spin away. Look at that from Brennan. Not many can do it as well as him off the ground like that.
Yeah, forced back because there was no one available forward.
Fraser came off the bench, but Bock decided to go straight down the ground. Everybody misses it at the back. First two at the Saints. Ray give on the up to Goddard. And they've got time here with Gilbert but they've got no one to kick to here.
Well, they're 12 players back in their defensive 50, did the Saints. They're outnumbered long.
Now, Browner wants to stay in because he can use Brennan on the way back. And he decided to play the percentage.
Well, he probably just wasn't aware that he had the advantage. Here's Gary Ablett with the turnover, and that's just a steal. Just absolutely flogged that one, and from outside 50, just a bit of a floater, and unfortunately missed the opportunity.
From the throw-in, waiting for it to come out. It does. Del Santo to Stephen to Dempster. 2-on-1 here for the Suns. Going back was Thompson. Chance here for the first gamer in Taylor. And that's his first kick, and he's found a target. So that'll be a little bit of a relief for the young man.
Yeah, he'd be very relieved. He's missed a lot of football this year. Had the groin operation at the end of the pre-season, so good to see him back out there.
So you've gone a long way back here.
I was just seeing at the moment neither team, and it's understandable with Reward out, neither team sort of has that marking forward, you know, coming up to the wing, coming up to the ball. It's making ball movement really hard at the moment.
And a turnover coming, I think, here. Bock, caught by Peake. Didn't get boot to ball. Johnny goes back. Harbrow squeezed up the line. He may actually get this back. It is out in the full.
Well, he tried the dribble along the ground, but it's come off the St Kilda player's boot. And so a nice little bit of relief there for the Suns, who are under enormous pressure.
Good vision. Spotted Fraser. Armitage slapped it away, though. Fisher with a man in the middle to look at. Decides to play down the line. Schneider is target, who calls in Lynch. Now Schneider. Del Santo cuts to his left boot. Heads to the top of the square. It's a disciplined kick. And back, well, Thompson was spoiled by Brown. This could be a chance for Jones. He got boot to ball, still alive. Peake. He's already kicked the goal. He went without it. Ablett didn't.
Again, good work from the Suns. All trouble.
No one to kick to.
That wasn't such good work. That fixed Harbrow, I think, coming out of the fence, was it?
Yeah, just dragged it around back into the corridor. Short chip in the defensive half. Back to the corridor is extremely dangerous. Some good work from the Suns, but equally good pressure. See Ablett just running out. Gives off the handball, and Harbrow, instead of going long down the line, just tried to pull off the low percentage kick into the corridor.
So Nick Del Santo shouldn't be a problem really for him here. 35 metres out, almost directly in front. He hits it straight through. The Saints have got their second.
I think it's a really hard kick to do now with the press in. I mean, as much as you want to bring it back in the corridor, teams are really going away from that coming out of their defence. Tough kick. Now, one step inside, senior player, you know, like Harbrow really can't afford to make that mistake. I mean, you'd expect maybe that from a young player just new to the game in his first year, but really that kick should have just gone long and wide down the line, getting it out of that defensive area.
Del Santo's 9th goal for the season. Saints out to a 13-point lead.
Yeah, just a very low percentage kick. Almost ticked every box for what not to do out of the back half under pressure.
Back with Fraser and McAvoy. McAvoy winning that knock and then scooping it up himself to Del Santo to win the clearance. Dangerous kick this. Going back with courage, Thompson. Schneider had more time than he perhaps thought. Trying to be very clever there. Hunt did okay, but it's a chance for Lynch off the ground. Tom Lynch.
Again, that forward momentum has put the Gold Coast Suns defence under pressure, and Tom Lynch got on the end of it. Some good work from Rory Thompson, went back with a fly to the ball, but a good contest from Kazitsky, an air swing by Schneider. But look at the numbers that the Saints get to the contest and the pressure, whether it be Montagna, whether it be Kazitsky or Schneider. In the end, it was Tom Lynch who was there. So some great work from the Saints. They're continually putting pressure on now.
Just his 5th game and his 3rd goal, so he'd be very happy with that. Very quick clearance. And
yeah, it's certainly going to be important, those centre bounces. And
well, Fraser, McAvoy, Smith, McAvoy.
Yeah, but Smith's certainly been the most effective because he can get down and get a clearance himself. That's a good way to do it. Hit it down at Brennan and just launch it into the forward 50.
High ball, but it suits one man, and that man is Clark, and he's going to peel off and go back quickly.
And there's a key stat. Clearances, as you were just talking about, Ruzi, 11-3 in favour of the Saints. And that's one facet of the game that the Gold Coast have been very good at all season. They can't afford to let that department go down.
This man, boys, has had a big quarter, 11 so far for Goddard.
And that's a beautiful kick. Onto the chest of Gamble. Cruising past Stephen. That's a beautiful kick as well. This is a sensational build-up by the Saints. Milne from outside 50. A marking target in Kaczynski, who's just thrown out of the way by Bock.
He certainly was thrown out of the way. I don't know whether he stumbled with contact there or he got a nice big shove in the back. But
or a bit of a shove in the back, or there was a hand placed on the back. But he got away with that one, so that's handy for the Suns' point of view. Saints supporters will be very disappointed.
To Johnny to Riscatelli.
I think sometimes the problem with the press guys with young teams is you tend to lose your direct opponent. I think that's what's happening at the moment with the Gold Coast. I'd be surprised if too many of the Gold Coast guys know exactly who they're playing on, because you tend to get out in an area, in a spot. And here we can see here. Oh, no. I think it's just Cozzy just tripping over his size 13 boots.
But you're spot on, Ruzi. With the press, a well-executed press is fantastic and hard to score against. But if it's not executed well, it's disastrous.
Well, you can hide in it a bit. You can hide in it because no one knows exactly who your man is and where you are. And I think that's what's happening at the moment for the Suns.
It also takes time to develop, doesn't it?
No question,
West Coast Eagles, the case in point.
Very good example. Advantage, no. Coming back, and it's Taylor. Young man from Geelong.
Another Geelong Falcons player. There's a heap of them around.
Here's McKenzie. And his kick is going to go back towards Dawson.
I think that's sort of the third or fourth time they've gone down the line.
Yeah.
And they'll get better at that. They're a young team. Eventually you'll see them trying to chip it around, move the St Kilda zone from side to side. If you just keep kicking it down the line, that just plays into the opposition hands.
Yeah, it's predictability, isn't it? Knock in front. Riscatelli first to it, starting to win some of the ball. McKenzie with a 1-2 to Prestia. Lynch almost to Cracker. Cut off by Taylor. Couldn't get boot to ball though. Del Santo getting it now. Polo scrubs it along the line. It's still in play. Schneider off the ground. Gets plenty of distance. It's inside the forward 50. Off the boot of Thompson. And it'll be a kick for St Kilda, and it could be a shot at goal.
It's an unfortunate one for Rory Thompson. Took front position, but off the toe and out the full.
Well, it was going to be. Milne was very keen to have a shot. That's a surprise. But Tom Lynch is the man who's been told to take it.
And Stevie Milne pushed three people out of the road to go get that ball.
He's called to play on as he coming off the line just outside the 50. Reminiscent of the Western Derby. They've been watching, boys.
Yeah, they didn't miss that one either.
Jones to Armitage.
I guarantee they would have seen that vision during the week at umpire training.
Yeah, a bit of a talking point. If this happens, make sure you pick it up.
Might have been the umpire that you blokes were talking to, Paul and Alistair.
Well, we can't give up our source. That's for sure. But under extreme pressure now, 13 inside 50s to 6 in favour of the Saints.
Long kick down the middle, or towards Smith. Chopping of the arms, he'll take the free.
I think that's a better option coming out of defence. I just think maybe they've got to load up one side with Smith, who's a really big athletic kid and can take a mark, and just get some midfielders and just kick that ball long out of, get it out of the 50, and it gives them a chance to crumb maybe and then move down the field.
Oh, there's a 50-metre penalty.
Well, that helps you get out of defence.
It does. The next one's going to be the key. But this is where you need run from behind to support, to give a number of options so that the long kick down the line isn't the only option available.
And they've got to get Stanley into the game. He's been good for them this year. He's played every game. He's a bit bigger bodied. He's got more experience. And he hasn't had a kick yet. So they decided to give it to McKenzie, who unloads the cannon. And the cannon's just a little bit off to the right, but it was the right idea. Just give it to him to let him go back.
When you scout a team you're coming up against, do you pick out a few players that if the opposition get the ball 60, 70 metres out, don't allow these blokes to be by themselves?
No question whatsoever. I think Rossi would have showed that vision during the week of McKenzie kicking, so he'd be disappointed someone didn't pick him up. But it is unfair a bloke can kick it that far.
Absolutely. That vision might come up at half-time again.
Goddard, as Lee mentioned, he's just getting it everywhere. I mean, you've got Goddard and Del Santo have had it 22 times between them. You're not going to win the game of football if you let star players like this control the footy. Here's Peake running onto a loose ball. Runs around Weller, balances up, spots Kazitsky, found him. 60 metres from goal.
They're working hard laterally as well for the switch.
Here it is, and guess who? Goddard sees Stephen. He's got a man further afield. He's going to step around, decides not to use Dempster, decides to kick it to an open goal square. But going back with a bit of courage, and he's not too happy about it.
Might get the 50.
Nathan Bock, it is too, another 50.
Well done for Nathan Bock. Just heard the umpire talk to David Armitage, just a little late in the contest. Taking the mark, he was off the ground, no malice in that one, but just late contact.
The only thing I'd say about Goddard, Matty, he has had 13. He's been a lot of it's back half. You know, sometimes you don't want him to get it, but sometimes a player getting it back half like that is better than a 6 or 7 forward half for Goddard. Whereas I think Del Santo's 10 have been a little bit more effective because he's getting it forward to the centre.
As long as Goddard's not giving it to Del Santo.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's Bennell trying to give it to and finding Swallow. He's got Smith on. Finds him. And Smith just says, I'll take you on, Justin, and I'll kick it around the corner. Zach Smith, what an athlete, what a pleasure to watch.
Well, I'll tell you what, for a young player, that is, I'm not going to say contempt, but
there's a little bit of a wobble about him.
That is unbelievable. I like this ball movement, though. Nice little chip kick, I think it was Bennell. Swallow, who's a really talented kid, really good vision. But have a look, he looks here at Cozzy and goes, no, I think I can run off you. And he was absolutely right. And then he slotted a nice goal round the corner. Terrific play for a young fella.
Just a wonderful individual effort, but good reward for the Gold Coast. Zach Smith with the first goal for them tonight, and they get the margin back to just 13 as we're approaching quarter time.
And they are keen to bring the ball around the outside of the ground with their forward 50 entries, not risking, as we've said, like to see them probably risk the corridor a little bit more, but they're certainly happy to go around the outside. Again,
the Saints win the centre clearance, this time off the boot of Jones, but Harbrow back to mop up off the outside of the left boot, and he wants the boundary. And he gets it. Peake, a little glance to say that was deliberate, and gets it.
That's not quite right, I wouldn't have thought.
Hang on, was that deliberate off Harbrow? Would not miss one kick.
Yeah, no, Harbrow.
Extraordinary.
Goddard with another disposal onto the chest of the Schneider man. Turned himself in a circle. In the end, he finds Dempster, who can play on. Steady from 40 metres, hits it low. In the end, it's a poor finish.
They've been red hot over the last few weeks, that deliberate out of bounds, when I understand when players do deliberately do it and even disguise it well, but I think that was just out into space.
Well, it was out into space. One of his teammates could run onto it. He was right there.
Exactly. Anyway.
Riscatelli, no, Stanley to target, sliding in, couldn't get there.
Looks like they are trying to go a little bit longer from their kick-ins, which I like that. As I said, even here, if you make a mistake there 50 metres out, here we can see the kick here.
That's out in
actually
front.
Put some outside on it. That cannot possibly be deliberate. That is ridiculous.
He's kicked it so his teammate can run under it.
It's a disgraceful position.
Here's Dempster. High ball into the pocket. Gamble again. Nathan Bock.
Well, Nathan Bock on Gamble. I think Nathan Bock would be happy with that sort of entry all day long. He's big, strong, experienced player. Gamble, the young, more mobile forward, would need some more space to run into the leads.
Big leap over the top. Still a chance for Armitage there. Gilbert was there. Quick kick in from Montagna, but guess who? Bock again.
I think if it comes in like that all night, Bock's going to have a field day. They really need to lower their eyes a bit. That was a bit stiff. That's just a quick kick out of a stoppage sort of thing. So, but they really need to lower their eyes because Gamble will probably beat maybe Bock on the lead, but he's certainly not going to beat him one-on-one in the contest.
Harbrow caught on the right boot. Looked for Smith, didn't find him. But in the end, after St Kilda dominating early, in particular dominating the inside 50s 18-8, they haven't let them get away, the Suns. Quarter time here at Metricon Stadium on Saturday night, 23 plays 9.
Ball user, but you've got to be careful you don't take someone away from someone else that's doing a good job. So that's part of coaching, and certainly the assistant coach has got a role to play there.
3-5, 1-3, second quarter underway. It's McAvoy almost getting his own clearance. Polo, boot to ball, smothered. Solid tackle from Jones. And another ball up. Just thought Stuart Wynn was going to give a free kick for a second.
Yeah, but he just sang out that initiated high contact by ducking the head.
Bounce to the left. It hits Polo on the noggin. Saw Big Potsy Adley go for a big leap and get hit with the Falcon, and out with facial soreness this week. Drawing a long bow, I know, but
is there more and more Falcons coming into the game?
I'm happy for it to be one of the rising statistics in the game. I think the crowd appreciate it. We're underway here with the Suns. Ablett, the right man to have on the end of it. Chip kick, there's some space
Well done.
for Stanley to run into.
As you said, Ruzi, Ablett hadn't had a lot of the ball, just the 5 disposals in the first quarter, but he does use it extremely well, and quite often, or the majority of the time, it is forward of the centre circle.
14 goals, 14 from Danny Stanley this year. .30 metres out, tight angle, never in doubt. Goal umpire didn't move, and the Suns get another goal.
I think as much as the raw numbers for Gary Ablett, Al, you touched on, is he gets it forward of centre. You know, he's such a dangerous player. You can see him here at this stoppage. Really good quick kick, great spread from the Suns. They really got some energy coming out of that break. And there you can see Gary Ablett coming out. Beautiful handball, a couple of nice handballs. He is dangerous because he tends to work from behind the stoppage, through the stoppage, gets inside the forward 50, and always creates a lot of headaches and a lot of scoring opportunities.
2 goals in a row to the Gold Coast. Danny Stanley's first for the evening.
Yeah,
Margin 8.
Stanley's one of those players we touched on pre-game, midfield goals, so he can work well through the midfield, but he rests forward and certainly has the ability to kick multiples.
Wonderful knock from Smith. Riscatelli knew it was coming. Quick kick forward. Chance again, the Suns. Brendan went one hand, didn't take it. Graham to Dawson. They've got enough numbers here, St Kilda. Gilbert can go back to Graham again, and he spots Del Santo. Drives it low, looking for Lynch. Spoil came in from Thompson.
He actually played on.
I don't think he thought he got it,
No.
but he got it. I mean, that's really the spot where he generally gets it. So that's what Lynch is going to have to do tonight. Obviously a younger player and just learning the caper, but leading, working hard, moving up the ground, providing a target for his defenders and midfielders coming off half back.
Graham was looking for Stephen. Hunt there for the Gold Coast. Well pinched though by Ray. Back to Stephen. Kick from Montagna was a tough one for him to mark, but they've got a chance through Stephen. His third effort, he wins the free kick.
Yeah, well done from Stephen. He just went in lower than Campbell Brown, and the free kick is for a high contact, and that's great. Great effort, as you said, multiple efforts, Matty, and he's been rewarded there with a high contact and generated a shot at goal.
Here's the replay. He's involved, tried to hit Montagna, kept going.
Yeah, good score from Harbrow, but that's the commitment you need from players. Get in lower and harder and first.
Let's take a look at the shot. 40 metres out. Jack Stephen has been accurate this year. Continues in that vein. He kicks it.
Well, I suspect a little bit there, and I don't want to be sceptical, but I think the free kick, the second free kick, maybe because they missed the first one.
Yeah.
If you look here, really good effort here from all players involved. Yeah, good hard contest. Carmichael just got to make sure he gets back on. Good play from Stevens. Probably here, I don't know, it's hard to tell from that angle, maybe a free kick to Montagna, but that didn't look like a free kick against Campbell Brown. Yeah, but the boy did go lower and harder and got a goal as a result.
Quick answering goal to Stephen. Ross Lyon to look on. It didn't look as though Campbell Brown really caught him at all.
No, it was
sort of flipped him.
Yeah, it didn't really hit him. It seemed to hit him on the side.
Yeah.
But you put yourself in those sort of positions from Stephen's point of view, you're always a chance to get the free kick, albeit a little bit lucky.
Goal apiece. Second quarter, the bounce didn't really favour anyone but Kaczynski, and it was called play on. And away they go. Nice chip pass to Kaczynski from Del Santo. Running hard, as we often see, peak. Just got rid of Taylor, but still not free. Back to Del Santo. You can't afford to give him too much room. Thompson, Riscatelli. Brown off a step and somehow falls onto the chest of Weller.
Yeah, he's done well there in the end. He just pushed off the ball, but Weller was in the right position. Now this is a risky kick into the corridor.
No one at ground level for the Gold Coast. Goddard's handball just missed. Well done, Taylor, to Smith. Cleaned it up nicely because the Saints were away there. Prestia's kick into the forward 50. Fraser tapped it forward, but Stanley was going to his front, not to the back. And Fisher can clear. And clear well to Gamble. In turn, Lynch provides an option for him. Good closing speed from Hunt, but he chopped the arms.
Just at the moment, a little bit of class difference, that's all. That's a close game, only 14 points of difference, but just the ball use a little bit cleaner from the Saints, and we can see it again here.
And they're right to the line, and
goal.
that's just snuck through. Didn't look as though it was going to go through, but it's a goal.
As you said, Ruzi, just a bit of difference in class and experience, and the ball use has been pretty good. The kick was short, but great pickup by Stevie Milne, and just as we know, we've seen him over many years just generate a goal from pretty much nothing at all, and that's a great shot at goal. You don't expect to get those unless you're the likes of Stevie Milne, that's for sure. So a couple of good goals replying to the first goal that the Gold Coast Sun got in this term.
This is the danger time, Matty. I think we talked about it pre-game. Just that tempo. Now, really important. Great goal from Milne. And Brown's kept him really quiet. Campbell Brown's done a really good job up to this stage. But now's the time. Just the tempo. Gold Coast, and they'll learn this. You've got to get hold of the ball now. Maybe just chip it around. Take a little bit of heat. Try and get a goal. Obviously going the other way. But a slower type goal, so you're taking the sting out of St Kilda.
Yeah, two very quick goals, the Saints, and almost the clearance from Montagna. But Brown sends it back in the opposite direction. Brennan crumbed it well. The answering goal is required, but it's the wrong side of the post from Jared Brennan.
Again, one of those half chances that if the Gold Coast are going to win these sort of games, they need to capitalise on those half chances. And Brennan and Ablett, they're the sort of players that can kick those goals.
Bock in best position again, but it bounces off his chest. Lynch, that's a clever handball to the advantage of Armitage now. He just hits it, so Montagna can run onto it. Bennell approaches. Montagna, quick pickup, boots a ball, dribbles it over. Bennell ran to the right spot.
There's a really nice kick from Armitage over the top of Montagna. Montagna was originally leading towards him and then circled back around. It was a nice kick and good play by Bennell too.
Not a lot of players around the boundary throw-in. There's a holding free. Fraser's kick, advantage to Ablett, straight up the middle. Presenting with strong hands. Brennan, away they go now.
Space, Smith one-on-one deep.
Jolly gave it to Stanley, but he heads in the Smith direction, but one-on-one turned into two-on-one when Clark arrived.
Well, it was two-on-one because it was such a high kick, and gave St Kilda plenty of time to get players across. So it wasn't great ball entry into the forward 50.
Suns kicked the first goal of the quarter. St Kilda answered with two. Gilbert away running now for them is Ray. Sees McAvoy. Strong hands of McAvoy because Bock was closing fast. Here's Stephen again, 60 metres out, sees the open goal square. Milne got it to bounce through, Stephen couldn't.
Yeah, Ben McAvoy was made to earn that one from Nathan Bock. And Jack Stephen, he's getting involved. He's had the 13 disposals, 1 goal, 1 now. And this is probably what you're talking about, Rory. You're talking about tempo. Gary Ablett's gone back and taken the kick out. This might be just to maintain possession. We need a good exit out of the 50 with a good kick. You can imagine Gary Ablett will get involved on a couple of occasions with this transition from deep defence.
Yeah, really like that. The captain going back, young team, take the kick in, just steady the ship a bit. Really, really good play from Ablett.
And kick it to one of your best players one-on-one in Swallow. Here they go, talk about one of their best players. Brennan on the boundary, 60 metres out, heads to the goal square. Stanley just went, well, Riscatelli went to ground. Peak almost marked. Polo couldn't get free. Lynch. Hard work from both sides. Clark is underneath all that. The ball's going to spill out. Brennan wanted a free kick, so did Peak. Umpire nothing doing, said play on. Crowd not happy. Schneider not happy. But no one comes near him.
Just the last couple of kicks in, 50, you mentioned the first one, just not quite to the forwards' advantage. They don't have to be lace out, but you really want to give your forwards a bit better chance than that.
Yeah, just get it to the side that favours the forward, and it gives them half a chance. Whether it hits the ground or not, just put it on the favoured side.
Farron Ray kick into the pocket. Milne the target. Brown went to ground. Milne stayed on his feet to Del Santo. Back to Milne. Spots a man in the pocket. Over his head. Chance for Thompson to clear. Finds his target. Swallow running past Bock. Tough kick this one. Oh, strong hands, Brennan.
Fantastic mark from Jared Brennan under pressure.
That's his second one in the middle of the ground. Now this is promising. Lynch on the back pedal. Everybody went up. No one stayed down. And that's at the post. It should be a throw in.
He mustn't have played that as a mark, Al, because you can't have an advantage from a mark. It did look like a mark for mine, but you must have played a free kick in the middle of the ground because there's no advantage from a marking situation.
And again, just bomb to the goal square where the two big forwards for the Suns were, but very difficult to mark in that situation.
Smith was looking for Weller. Weller didn't know it was coming. And we'll have another ball up 35 metres out from the Suns' goal.
And that's where you need some good coordination between two big forwards. On that occasion, it was Lynch and Smith. Just can't afford to get in the same areas. You've got to, even if you're not going to get the ball, sometimes you've got to lead to create the space behind you.
Numbers here for the Gold Coast. Harbrow going back. Brown just kept going. He was ignored by Bock, who hits it high. Big spoil. Lynch. Wrapped up by three of them.
I think Al, at this stage of their young careers, they just don't have a big power forward. Because they don't get a lot of easy goals, which is understandable. They'd love to have a big key forward up there that can milk a free kick or take a contested mark. They just don't seem to get enough easy goals, which is, as I said, is not a surprise.
Clinton Jones a little bit frustrated there, appealing for the fact that he thought that Adelaide had possession, but not to be. Or chip from Gary. It was a tough one for Fraser. Prestia tight on the line. Fraser in hope, squaring it up. Bouncing ball, Milne, a long way from goal for him. Goddard has Ray going past. Now that goes out of bounds. Surely that's deliberate.
It is.
Yep. If you're going to pay one, you've got to pay the other.
And a little bit of support from the Gold Coast Suns crowd as well, which is getting into the spirit of the deliberate out of bounds.
Jeremy Taylor into the pocket. Should suit St Kilda. Beats about 4. Graham. No one home for St Kilda. Mackenzie's caught on the wrong side. Good tackle by Clark. Peak. Gary Ablett not too happy with Polo on the side. Swallow. Touch play on. Clark, Del Santo. Spotted Milne. No one to kick to though. Had to go back to Clark. Still no one to kick to. Should be a Gold Coast ball here. Chance of Prestia. Too much hook on it.
The Saints have got 16 players back in the defensive 50. Put a lot of pressure on the Gold Coast Suns. I mean, I don't mind the occasional long bomb to the forward 50 for the big forward to make his contest, but I think the Gold Coast Suns really need to help out the forwards. Just lower the eyes, try to pick off a few of those 35-metre passes to generate the shot on goal instead of continually blazing away.
Now, the back of this is Fisher. And doing well and getting in the hole was Rory Thompson.
I reckon when they had the whiteboard up quarter of the way through the season, Rory Thompson was in that bracket of maybe being moved on at the end of the year. He's absolutely secured his spot.
Long ball in from Swallow. Needed someone at the back, and Jones runs it through. So they're doing some pressing here, the Suns.
I think that's the key, Al, you mentioned before. It's just they've even upped the inside 50s a fair bit. I think it's, what is it now, 24-19, but they're just not effective inside 50s. Everyone's going forward as a bomb kick to the top of the square. Really hard work if they're going to do that. So they really need to lower their eyes, try and hit some targets. The other one, you mentioned Thompson. We were down the warm-up area before the game in the nice corporate area, looking through the window. He's a big lad. He's a big lad, good-looking athlete, big kid, and he's playing really well tonight.
He is, and there was a reference towards the Daniel Merritt type of athlete. And remember when we saw him a few weeks ago, the size of Daniel Merritt. He's a monster, and Rory Thompson could develop into a similar sort of defender.
Montagna gave it up. Again, they'll send it long, the Suns. This time from Bock. Everybody jumped high, no one near it. Dempster to clear. Oh, look out! Well, Well, Cracker made good position, then dropped the mark. He owes his teammate one. He kicks it to the goal square. Should have done better with it.
Yeah, he needed to take that one. And he's obviously had these battles this year, Nathan Cracker, but he just had a great opportunity there to kick a goal with that interception.
I think that was his first kick too, so he's had one disposal. He certainly needed a lot more. I think he was one, correct me if I'm wrong, early in the year, kicked 6 or 7 in one game. So
five against the Brisbane Lions.
Against the Lions. Went forward. So he's one that can actually take a mark.
Yeah.
Again, he's going to need the players up the field to lower their eyes. He's not going to take a big contested mark, but maybe it's time to throw him to full forward and try something a little bit different with him.
Beautiful kick from Polo. Had one option and one option only, and that was Farron Ray to the right-hand side. And he got him. Into the middle he goes. Dawson. Time. Beautiful kick again. And that transition was too easy.
Yeah, it was. It was very hard for Carmichael Hunt, but he did lose his direct opponent. Stephen Milne got behind him, and then once he lost visual and body contact, he was pretty much no hope then. So probably a little bit of lack of experience, but that'd be probably unfair on Carmichael Hunt. It was an easy transition.
So Milner kicked a beautiful goal from a tight angle earlier in this corner. Directly in front, left-hand side, a little bit of work on the ball, kicks his second.
And that's what really hurts you when disposal counts going in favour of a team, and inside 50 for the quarter was certainly very different. We'll see in the foreground here, Carmichael Hunt loses contact visually and physically, and that's where an easy chess mark. But if you're dominating certain facets of the game, and you can't kick goals, and then the transition like this, easy ball movement, easy goal, that certainly is very much an energy-sapping goal.
I don't know whether he picked it up and had any vision on it, but really good. Gary Ablett, after Milne kicked that, Al, you mentioned Hunt's positioning. Ablett actually went to centre-half back, stood with him. I think explained exactly what you were talking about, which is really good stuff from Ablett. Hard to do in the course of a game when you're captain and you're such an important player, but well done, Gary Ablett.
Well, that's where I think we've learnt a lot about Gary Ablett this year. Probably wasn't needed in the previous years, his leadership. No, but he's really stood up, and that's not just in the confines of a game. And certainly off the ground, he's been great as well.
Riscatelli pushes away, back towards the man you're talking about in Ablett. Brennan coming through. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
And that's sometimes Jared Brennan, isn't it? The one-handed pickup followed by the out-of-bounds on the full.
But as a coach, though, you want your players to try things inside your forward 50. Don't just let it go out. I mean, try to get something happening.
Oh, well, that's right. And I mean, with someone like Jared Brennan, it's that balance. Allow him to play his natural style whilst he still plays within the team structures.
Yeah, that guy in the third row was a really good kick for goal. So if he had a mark, that he probably could have kicked it from there, Matty.
No question, Rusey. I mean, before the game, some of his set shots were superb. My point, no.
No, I agree with what you're saying. Look, he's a terrifically talented player, and sometimes you can't say to those guys, don't do this, don't do that, because part of his appeal is the things that he does, which are really special.
Prestia from the contest, forced a handball. Coming through and doing enough was Cracker. To Prestia, Harbrow can get home from 50, needs a good bounce, and gets one. Just what the doctor ordered for the Suns.
Yeah, love that stoppage. Really, really good stoppage. I think it was Prestia at the back of the stoppage. You can see here, really good effort here. Someone got a hand. Prestia comes through at pace, collects it. Nice hands there. Cracker follow up. Prestia again. Terrific, and a really nice finish from Harbrow. And that's what he's there to do. He's not a super defender, Harbrow, but he's a real running, attacking player. And he's got to get up the ground a little bit more if he can. And that's a nice finish from outside 50.
Only his second goal for his new club, Jared Harbrow, but a timely one.
He's played some good football in recent weeks as well, and he sees a bit of ball down there. He's always under pressure deep in the defensive 50, but he's doing a good job in his first year with the Suns.
You just get the feeling as the players around him get more experience, he'll get more of the footy and be a little bit more attacking. Swallow, bumped off it by Gilbert. Kaczynski, quick hand Stephen. Graham got boot to ball, touched. Coming through Campbell. Stephen again, he follows up well. But now with Stanley. Back to Harbrow. Look out. And he gets free. But he's going to turn it over fairly quickly, going back as Clark.
I think it's a good point you make about Hart-Brown, Matty. He's not a lockdown defender. He's never going to be a lockdown defender. I suspect they didn't get him there for that. You know, he needs Bock playing well. He needs Campbell-Brown playing well. But if the other team's not putting pressure on, he really struggles to defend in a one-on-one situation. So as the team improves, as the team's going to get better, I think he'll improve his own input for the team.
Well, that's right. He's got to have trust in the players around him so he can get offensive and run forward as well and set up so much drive we know he can do.
Prestia.
He's been
impressive, isn't he?
Yeah.
As soon as he says that, he almost turns it over to Brown, but he's there in time and spinning around the back is Taylor. 3-on-1 though. Tough job, but crumbing is Ablett. Giving it off to Jolly. Come around! The back of the post for a behind.
He's up to 11 possessions press. He's really getting involved. What I like about him, Litch, he changes pace. He hits the ball at top pace. He's not a player that just plods around the ground.
Quick movement here by the Saints, though. As soon as they went through from behind, they were away. Stephen involved. Milne the target. Now out in front of Gamble. Got a little bit clear on Bock. Needs a good bounce. Trundles it through for a behind.
That's what we spoke about in the first quarter as well. Gamble, get the ball out in front of him. He's going to really stretch Nathan Bock on the lead. I suppose Bock's experience then at least forced him wide. It wasn't in the corridor where he got his disposal.
Bock realises there's a man on his own and good vision to find Swallow.
It's been a good period from the Gold Coast Suns. It would have been a bit of a shame there just to go coast to coast and give up a cheap goal.
Smith showed courage and then tapped it over to Jolly. Back to Smith. Forced to just throw it on the boot and will suit Clark once again.
Well, Clark just happy to just sit off his direct opponent and that sweeper across half back. He sets up so well.
Kosicki has peak. Thompson left his man, did enough. Now the quick give. Fraser to the top of the square. He put too much hook on it. Lynch will arrive late. Hunt went without it. Lynch kept going. First man to take it was Polo, coming through. Gilbert. Jones, stop, start, and then they switch it wide and they don't panic. Fisher. Montagna, just half a fumble from him.
They certainly have plenty of opportunities to score. It makes you wonder if they did have a big power forward up there. The scores could be vastly different, but we've harped on it a bit in this quarter. They just continue to bomb it in, bomb it in, bomb it in. It's really tough for the forwards at the moment, the Gold Coast Suns.
Ablett wins the clearance along the ground. Spills for Polo, got rid of it. Del Santo, the more balanced of the pair there. Clark again. Runs the gauntlet that time and kicks it out on the full. So another chance for Gold Coast.
Yeah, and just get those repeating side 50s, and that's good defensive pressure to put pressure on the ball carrier to cause the turnover. On this occasion, it was out in the full, but good defensive pressures.
So they're going to go back here. Now Bock may be next in line, but it's a long way away.
Yeah, we've got to be careful with this one.
Oh dear. Straight to Armitage. It's going to hurt here. Peak will go long towards Schneider. And Thompson did okay. A couple of good spoils from him in this quarter. Bock under pressure. Found touch.
That was Paul Roos.
Deliberate.
Oh, that was off his knee. It wasn't deliberate. It was just a stinker.
It was a shank. He's not happy.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's
horrendous.
Gamble quickly to the top of the square. Chance here, Armitage, front and square, roved it beautifully, out towards Milne. Harbrow went without it, in comes Ablett to help out. Peak, Harbrow again, Jones scooping up clever. Still going Peak, 45 metres out, around the corner he goes. Armitage tried to get rid of Taylor, Taylor wins the free.
well done, Taylor. Took front position. David Armitage just tried to throw him out of the road. Nathan Bock goes again.
Oh, that'll be out of it, that's deliberate. Coming through solidly, Gamble, but Prestia stood his ground.
Yeah, the last three kicks out of the defensive 50 have been a scrubby old one down the corridor.
Oh, look at Roos out of the back line. Off his shin.
In all seriousness, that did come off his shin. It looked like you at the Lakeside Oval back in 1991 on a wet Tuesday night, Al.
He wasn't happy. Got the crowd involved again. Here's Smith, didn't have it. Strong work from Armitage. Just off the back of the pack was Jones. Almost found Milne. And away go the Suns here.
Good spread here, running hard into space.
Swallow, though. That is a superb tackle from Clark. Now Peake for the turnover. A big second quarter Clark, and Peake lets his team down.
In all seriousness, that's the 4th time coming out defence that they've turned the ball over. Now, it is late in quarters, and I think it's been a bit of a habit for the Gold Coast Suns. Again, understandably, because they're starting to get really tired now at the back end of each quarter. 4 times they've come out of their back 50, 4 times they've turned it over.
Harbrow under pressure.
We spoke pre-game about defensive pressures from the Saints, and this is what we're seeing now. As you said, young, inexperienced Suns are getting a little tired, but the St Kilda's tackles are sticking. They're not being broken like we would have seen in those first 8 rounds. They're very strong at the body at the moment.
Just a little nudge from Ablett to get rid of Jones, and then a clearing kick from him. Lynch stood his ground. Prestia again. He's been busy. Kick to the line here. Riscatelli first to it. Gilbert did okay.
Well, that's probably not a bad spot for it to be for the Suns. Give them an opportunity to get numbers down there around this stoppage. As we said, they've been very good in this situation during the season.
McKenzie can't get through. Cranker went without it. Not the second time, though. Rolls it forward. Super attack on the footy from Riscatelli to Taylor. That's another behind. And so 2.5 minutes remaining for half-time. They've lost the quarter by 2 points.
Yeah, I think they're going really well, Al. I just think Riscatelli probably needs to get a bit more involved. We've seen Ablett had 5 possessions in the first quarter, 8 in this quarter. Riscatelli's got himself up to 10, and you can see how effective he is. He's really clean around the stoppages, Riscatelli. He's got really good courage, nice pick up and nice handball there.
Stephen gets the short kick in the pocket. And in turn, presenting for him is Farron Ray.
This is the patience of an experienced team. I know it's late in the quarter. Prepared to soak up the pressure and be pretty defensively minded.
Well, Taylor stood his ground. Thompson was trying to spoil his teammate. Like what we've seen so far from Taylor in his first game.
Yeah, it was involved in the NAB Cup, as we said before, prior to that groin operation.
Big spoil. Desired result out of bounds.
And is that 41st player on the list? 41 out of 48 the Gold Coast Suns have tried, and he's the 30th player to actually debut in the AFL for the Gold Coast Suns. So they're rotating plenty of players through the team.
Smith flipped it out the back. Bennell, enough to get it to McKenzie. High ball, 2-on-1 St Kilda. First to it. Magnificent work from Ablett. McKenzie back to Prestia. Gave it to his captain. Stepped around. Ablett. Gee, deserved a goal.
Did deserve a goal. Good tackle from Del Santo, but what a strong body from Ablett to even generate that shot whilst he was getting tackled. So that was Ray going to ground.
Going to send it back in again, the Suns. They've got time for one more goal before half-time. They'd love it to build some momentum.
Cracker had the early lead to Fraser that he could have used, hit up. What they've been doing is just bombing away now.
And they have to again. Tough one to mark. Dempster in good position. Clark coming through. Likewise, Polo. Prestia got a hand on it. Backing out of it is Gilbert, and he just gave it over to Peake. Schneider hoping someone was there. A lot of red jumpers around the ball. Brennan slicing through Cracker. It's all St Kilda there. McAvoy to Fisher. Can the Saints get one on the way back? Ablett's going to arrive for Jones. And he got rid of him. Del Santo cutting the line. Dangerous here, St Kilda. Armitage milled into the pocket. Got him. Man in the goal square is Schneider. Again, one. Oh, Schneider went down.
He fell in a hole.
He's hit the sprinkler and dropped. They still might get past Hunt here.
Oh, he's trouble.
Given the benefit of the doubt, enough time to get rid of it. Smothered by his own man. Gee, Weller's just kicked it into him. 3 seconds to go. Maybe the clock. The only winner in this whole passage of play for the Suns. Somehow, St Kilda didn't kick what they should have in that last transition. Somehow Schneider went to ground. I don't know what happened there, Paul.
Well, it's not often you see a player in a position like that just fall over. I'm not sure whether he tripped over the sprinkler head or what, but a real big opportunity late there for St Kilda. Suns dodged the bullet late in that quarter. They had enough of the ball, the Swans. Suns inside 50s at 30-29, Albert. They just didn't make enough of those inside 50s, the Suns.
No, they dominated the inside 50 count. They had their fair share of the ball, as you said, Roosie, in that quarter. But, yeah, just efficiency inside 50 was the standout for me. They really fell down in that facet of the game.
13 scoring shots apiece. As I said, the margin was 14 at quarter time. It's 15 now, so they'll feel as though they're right in this game, the Suns. And
well, they should do. They should feel that they're in the contest. They're certainly taking it up to the Saints. Just work on their efficiency and they'll be much better. Let's
hear what's happening in the Saints camp, because Lee's with Lee Montagna.
Joey, just a scrappy affair in that first half. It's been difficult, mate.
Yeah, it has. The conditions are difficult, and we're making a lot of mistakes, and Gold Coast is putting on a lot of pressure, so it's a scrappy game, and we're not playing how we like, but hopefully we get going in the second half.
Just looks like the rhythm's really hard to get into the game. It's sort of a bit disjointed at times.
Yeah, we're right. It's a little bit all over the shop. We're a bit unorganised, and we're not getting much good use in our forward line, so we've got to try and use the ball better the next half.
Go and regroup, mate.
Thanks to Lee for talking to Lee just before half-time. We're going to take a break from Metricon Stadium. Alistair and Paul will take a good look at the highlights of the first half. Saints by 15. It is Shaun Hart.
Little Shawnee Hart can't help himself. Just loves the footy in the hand.
Where's his helmet?
It'll be whacked on in a minute.
Second half underway. 15 points is the lead for the Saints as Brennan tries to get free and win the first clearance. McKenzie comes through, gives it back to Brennan. And he worked it well. Now they need a kick. And they'll get one from Brown. He floats it forward. Tough one to mark. Weller almost on the second attempt. Good give on the up from Stephen and good reflex from Montagna. Found Gilbert going past to Tom Lynch for the Saints. Milne, 2 in the second quarter. 41 for the season. Kazitsky was the big target. And crumbing it was Harbrow. It eventually got it out wide. Bock to Smith. Not his best effort with the footy, but Bennell was playing in front. Lynch sidesteps well. Touched off the boot. May sit for the Suns. Riscatelli. Fraser. Dawson. Not pretty, but now they need some class and skill involved, and they get it with Ablett. 55 metres out. Says, I'll do it myself. But unfortunately for him, skids across the face for the opening score of the quarter.
Doesn't the game change dramatically when Gary Ablett gets the ball in his hands?
It does.
It's amazing.
It seems like he's got so much more time than any other person on the ground. And I think that's the only way at the moment, or good pass in the end, the only way at the moment I can see the Gold Coast Suns winning this contest is by attacking that 50-metre arc with their midfielders and kicking goals from 50 rather than just bombing long, because they're not getting the marks inside 50.
Well worked by the Saints there, but the kick from Fisher really did let Peake down, and it was an easy one for Taylor to spoil.
Yeah, I agree. I think the mids are the ones that look most dangerous going through the stoppages going forward, particularly Gary Ablett. It's hard to see anyone catching it the way the ball's been moved into their forward 50.
Yeah. So forward of the centre circle, use by hands, and if you can get the ball 70 metres out, attack the 50-metre arc, and you just make the most of those opportunities to convert the goal.
Ball up. McKenzie first to it. Dishes off to Ablett. It's plenty of hook on the ball. Now, Bennell was trying to get rid of Graham, but fortunately didn't get the ball as Fisher. He tumbles that one forward. Milne looking dangerous here. Brown down. Lynch on hands and knees. Scooped it out. It's pinched by Harbrow. And a loose man in Fraser. Can he hit a target from here? Riscatelli. Well, he's going to win chopping the arms or holding, or he took the mark anyway. So he'll kick from 50.
And that was better. That was probably the first time they have lowered their eyes, but it's a little bit the same down the other end because Bock's got the keys covered. He's got Kosicki covered. He's got Gamble covered. So unless St Kilda start to lower their eyes and hit some small forwards and mediums inside 50, or their mids running through it, so it's the same both ends of the field at the moment.
Riscatelli just outside 50. Always right.
And that wasn't the start they needed. It was, as you said, it was good use by foot short from Josh Fraser, but 2 goals 7 in that second term. So 9 shots at goal for only a small reward. early this first 10 minutes. As I said before, I think it's going to be very important in the context of the game.
Turnover coming. Harbrow in the right spot. Repays the Saints in kind with a turnover himself to Del Santo.
Well, what is it? It's 15 scoring shots to 13 in the Suns' favour.
Yep.
It's also now 33 inside 50s to 31 in the Suns' favour. So they're certainly getting enough opportunity forward at 50, but they just keep bombing it, or in that case, they're turning the ball over.
Well, as Alistair mentioned, 2-7 in that quarter now, already 2 points here, so 2-9 of their last attacks as Thompson's kick only under the chest of Goddard. Graham away. Taken in the hands, McAvoy. Ray to Gamble, can go. Can have a shot or decide to go to Kazitsky. Chopping the arms against Bok.
At least the ball was out in front, so Kazitsky was able to present up at the ball, put his hands out in front, and put enough pressure on the defender. And on that occasion, Nathan Bok felt obliged to just hit the arms. Didn't think he was going to be able to get a fist to the ball. And just a little tap of that left arm of Justin Kazitsky.
6 goals, 4 for the season coming into this game. This is first shot at goal. Riscatelli misses at one end. Kazitsky doesn't miss at the other. The Saints with the first goal in the second half.
What I will say about Kazitsky, I mean, he's not having a super game, but he does straighten them up a bit. Even here, really, he does lead hard at the football. So even if he doesn't mark that one, he gets a free kick. But if I was the Crumming players and Ross has got him at full forward, then you've got to work off him, because Bok's probably got him covered for pace. Gamble lowered his eyes there, nice kick, free kick, but he does certainly straighten them up, Cozzy.
And that's that reward for effort that we were talking about. Gold Coast 4 inside 50s to the Saints 2. The only reward for the Suns was the 2 behinds, but good efficiency from the Saints with that good goal.
Back in the middle, Ablett was getting there, but Swallow beat him to it, but he gave it up to Schneider, and it's going to prove costly. Goddard from 52. Well, it's a let-off. He had backed BJ to kick those most of the time.
But that's what you want Brendan Goddard to do. I think he might have moved now up to the wing. He needs to get forward to centre a bit and put some scoreboard pressure on and hit his forwards.
Margin at 20. Hunt. Gets around and then finds his target. Scatelli. 2-on-1 up further. He needs to get plenty of distance on the kick. He got there. May was interfered with. Now advantage should be paid here. It is. Burnell in space. Well, he only took a step, and that's all he needed. Holy happy.
That was a very good kick out to Carmichael Hunt. Worked hard to find some space and used the ball well. And we haven't seen a lot of this from the Gold Coast Suns, the transition from one end to the other. May in that contest drew the free kick, but made a good contest at least, and then advantage was paid. Burnell probably had 1 or 2 more steps that he could have taken, but he's a very skillful young man and just slotted that opportunity. That's what the Suns needed.
Still just 18, Harley Burnell, and that was a terrific finish. 5 goals, 10 for the season, so he's been inaccurate, and that was a beautiful goal.
He has, and he's had his issues as well,
yep.
And was had a club imposed suspension for a few weeks, but back in the side, he's a class act.
Here's a very good clearance, and Gary Ablett is away. Uses Stanley, needs help. 1 too many. Burnell again. Through everybody's legs. Fisher. May can't get free. Now Del Santo can. Just forced to kick it so that Schneider can run at it. Tapped it over. Harbrow with him. Went past him, slides in, got to get rid of it. Now Schneider has it. He's tackled by Harbrow, ball up.
Yeah, great contest, really good contest. 2 quick players.
Is his clearance
It's really
again.
good, yeah.
Now, I don't mind this. Ablett is trying to attack that 50-metre arc. So instead of just blazing away where they've been going deep all the time so far this game.
It was a great
and
knock
been
too by Fraser,
inefficient, but it's really good work. Yep.
Stephen past everybody. Gamble again. Tight on the line. Not enough on the kick. Dropped though by Taylor. And dropped by Jolly.
That's thrown it.
He did throw it. Stanley stood up in the tackle. Harbrow, they're not out of danger yet, the Suns, because Harbrow's got no one to kick to. Now, he needed someone to spread, and Stanley did. Ray with him. Spins him around like a top. Jones kicks it high. Kazitsi comes late, and Brown was pretty keen to see it over the line.
Massive players around this stoppage.
And McAvoy in good position. Won though by Fraser. Harbrow's doing some good work. Stanley stood in the tackle again. Ablett's going to have to go back. He did enough to get it to McKenzie. Clearing kick. May was held.
Can go quickly.
He does. Now it's Bennell or Lynch. No one went for it.
Both Lynch and Bennell stood back, and I think it was a call of yours. No one actually went at the ball.
Once again, I just think when May gets that, and he'll learn that, just to hold up a little bit, just be a bit more patient and hit the guy leading towards you rather than just turn around and bombing it.
Another ball in.
Both Fraser and Zach Smith at this contest. You'd imagine that Fraser will try to lock down McAvoy, and Zach Smith will probably come over the top.
Stephen trying to get in Smith's way. And McAvoy won it in the end. Montagna, good smother though from Smith. Off the ground, we know he can play soccer. Good skills, Riscatelli. Quick give required. Swallow gets it from Bennell and misses the goal. It was almost a goal from nothing from the Suns, and it would have been the goal of the night.
I'll tell you what Bluey looks like he's done at half-time too. He's taken all his forwards back inside 50 of the stoppages. He's really opened up the stoppages. Al, you've talked about those midfielders running in. Now, I'm not sure exactly that's the reason he's done it. Maybe to take Goddard out of the play. But all the Saints defenders now are inside the defensive 50. There's plenty of space between the stoppage and the forward 50 arc. And we've seen another midfielder, Swallow, running in to have a shot at goal.
I think he's been listening, Rizzy.
Gamble spins around. Kazitsky on a long lead, but there's not a lot to kick to yet. But there's a bit of space to run into. Bock and Lynch. Lynch recovers first. Ducks through it. Another duck, this time Armitage. He's caught. He's caught. He's caught.
The ball's come out. It's actually goal side 10 metres, but a little bit late.
Quick play needed here from Bock. He gets it to Stanley.
They've got to be patient with this one. They're outnumbered 50 metres away from the ball, so it's difficult to maintain possession unless you do that. That's a shame to Taylor.
Brilliant pass.
It's a set play.
It is. It's called the JT.
It's like a knuckleball. I thought it was going to go longer. It just didn't come off the boot.
Thompson. And that's stretching to the line, but McKenzie had it.
They need hard running players into space.
McKenzie decides that Lynch can have a jump at it. Swallow was a hard running player, came from this side of the ground to get there. And onto the chest of May, who's at least providing something for him in this half.
Presenting well at that 60-70 metre position at centre-half forward.
Drills it too hard. Ablett third in line. Up to Prestia. Swallow, solid hit on Montagna.
He's gone too.
And he was up and out. He was out of the contest when the whistle went. Swallow, well, that's going to have to be very good to Stanley. It's not. Stanley's second effort to try and hold it in. Gamble. Stanley patted it back. Now here's a break from the Saints. And it's Milne. Two bounces. No one up forward just yet. The dummy.
Gotta go at him.
And now he kicks it. And it's a clever kick. High free kick. Kazitsky again, 50 metres out.
Just great play from Milne, though. Nothing up front. Took his time, really composed, and then a nice kick to Kosicki.
Almost against the run of play, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Suns have been really good, but again, just their forward 50 entries have let them down.
For his second goal of the quarter, and to get the margin out to 19 points. This one a bit further out than the last. 55 metres he'll need. Getting a quick look from the dock.
Here's the contest from Campbell Brown, just making him earn it. Just was a little bit short of the ball.
Side of the melon.
Zach Smith, a bit jump, and he got it over to Tom Lynch. Makes things happen, Smith, as Jolly trying to do likewise to Riscatelli. Beautiful movement, Gold Coast. Burnell wants it.
Yeah, but Burnell is still 50 metres out. He's got to go a little deeper and come back for a secondary lead. It might be used now.
Now, the cannon from 60. Didn't get it. Lynch brought it to ground, but St Kilda will have the numbers. Fisher to clear. And he can hit Gamble. In front of Tom Lynch, that's St Kilda's Lynch. And he just did a better job in the end. And great second effort from Thompson.
It was good effort from Thompson. I think he overran the contest and allowed Tom Lynch to turn him around, but made up for it for that good defensive chase. Now they can switch it and go.
They got a man loose.
They need support, need to get more numbers out there. Zach Smith won't have anyone to go to if they eventually go to him.
Well, they do. Now he's going to have to hold it up. Well, did he lose that or just lost his balance? In the end, it was horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't good in the end, but Zach Smith was going to end up by himself. So Matt Shaw just limbering up, will be injected into the game shortly, you'd imagine.
Smith winning the knock. McKenzie couldn't get boot to ball. So poised was Del Santo. Gets the 60 metres out. Milne in good position. Got it. He'll play on. No. Oh, he loves that sort of situation.
Well,
is he maturing?
A little look to go on, but saw, I think it was Rory Thompson come around to lock at space.
He's not far off the leaders of the Coleman medal as he kicks his third. For the year, sorry.
So I think if you go back a little bit, a missed tackle from Jolly. Now that's going to happen here. It was just prior to that Del Santo. You can't give Del Santo too much time. Forward to centre, he's a beautiful. They're really good body work. Just holds up, protects the area where the ball's going to drop, takes the mark. But Jolly's just had a chance to tackle Del Santo. As I said, for a young team, that's going to happen. That'll sort itself out over time as they get bigger and stronger.
To Milne as Harbrow goes back with him.
And that was a prime example of what we spoke about before. Milne's a very good throw-in player, but he takes a very good overhead mark and contested mark. He initiated contact with Campbell Brown just to give himself that extra step or two. In the end, it was a fairly easy chest mark.
Substitution activated. We'll go to Lee shortly for the Gold Coast. Del Santo's clearance. Standing up, holding firm, Bock. It's a swallow. Nice pass, Cracker. Waits for McKenzie to cruise past him. Good kick. Gee, everybody. The Saints defenders weren't sure where that was going. So in the end, they've done well to clear to Farron Ray.
Yeah, just another one going long and bomb and just making it easy for the Saints, and not just not at the moment getting enough reward for there's 50-metre penalty.
Yeah, just lets the pressure valve off.
Let's go to Lee.
Sub has been executed by the Gold Coast Suns. Matt Shaw and Carmichael Hunt, as you can see, has finished for the night.
So Hunt off, Shaw on. Cutting through Bock. Here's Taylor. Here's the sub in Shaw, but you can't go to ground. Just used his body well there, McAvoy. Peak. Runs around. Debster off a step. Into the pocket, and Milne can't complete the mark.
That was a great contest.
Yep.
Great speed on the lead from Stevie Milne, but Harbrow equally as good to get a fist in.
Yeah, good effort from Harbrow. You mentioned Shaw not going to ground, I think, over there, Matty. It's a cardinal sin for young players. You've got to keep your feet. And it's one of the things coaches really harp on with all players, not just younger players.
Good second effort from Fraser to get it to Ablett, but cutting it off was Del Santo. And very good Nick Del Santo. 27 disposals. McKenzie has a spell.
Certainly the Suns have tightened up on Goddard. Had those 14 disposals in the first term, only up to 24. I mean, it is plenty of disposals, but he was out of the gates very quickly.
There he is now. Not clean there. Stanley to Ablett. They're going backwards. Harbrow trying to straighten them up. Ducked into it. Be in trouble. Ball bouncing around in there. Eventually a baller.
You mentioned Harbrow. He's had the 6 disposals along with Ablett and Swallow for the quarter. Del Santo leading the way for the Saints with 7. And operating at 100%, Del Santo.
Jones can't get from again. Ablett has just pickpocketed him. He's the artful dodger in that situation.
I think Ross has released Goddard into the midfield, Ella. I think, as I said before, it looks like you get a shot behind the stoppage. All the St Kilda players are being dragged back, all the defenders. They're still playing 6 forwards, even at this area of the ground. So Goddard's been moved now around the stoppages to try and get a bit more ball forward to centre.
It's hard work to get a clean possession in there at the moment. It's the Saints by 20. They sort of held a lead around the 14-15 mark for most of the game.
Pretty sure, Matt, the Saints have also used their sub to Tom Lynch, and he's gone to the bench. There he is, and Geary coming on.
And we'll have another ball in.
Yeah, it just needs a dash of brilliance, I guess, doesn't it, at the moment? Most of the time there's a goal-scoring opportunity. It's an Ablett around a stoppage or a Del Santo around a stoppage.
You can expect, usually, after 3 or 4 stoppages like this, there could be a free kick just plucked out here.
Well, it's plucked out by Fraser. May got rid of Gilbert. The handball was a little bit low for Taylor. Hence the turnover. Stanley tried to just boot that off the ground. .17 scoring shots apiece. 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
One-on-ones all over the ground. No one given any space whatsoever. And certainly in this sort of stopping situation, everyone with a man right next to him.
Here's Del Santo. Operating at 100% this quarter. Continues in that vein. Stephen. Milne going to run onto it. Can he get there in time? He can't.
And generally what tends to happen, I noticed at the last stoppage, I think what Ross has done now in response to McKenna putting all his forwards back inside 50 is bring his half forwards up. And if that continues, you're going to have a really open St Kilda forward line.
Smith's got to go. It beats everybody. Lynch, quick give. Presti is going to be run down.
Well, he gave it, didn't he?
Quick play here, St Kilda. Goddard off a step. Milne read it best. Got it now. Harbrow, he slips under the tackle. He gets up. He beats one, but he won't get it enough. It's touched off the boot. Tough one for Stanley. Bock didn't panic. Ablett never does. No one to kick to.
Still no one.
Still no one to kick to. Still going though. In the end, I reckon they'll be happy with that.
Well, he's done a power of work and he's buckled over at the moment because absolutely exhausted.
I think that's just a little bit there. Where's Selwood? Where's Stevie J?
Yeah, that's right. Any danger of Chappie
Any danger
up?
of someone give me a chop out at the moment.
Off the ground went Smith. Graham beaten to it by Ablett though. Be careful here because that's a beautiful kick.
Well, what were we pinging? He's not. No.
Well, he's had a good look at it.
Oh, he did have.
He did have a very good look at it. Gee, what a great player. I know we talk about him all the time, but what a great... He's exhausted Gary Ablett before that stoppage, but still has the capacity to go after it, win it, get it out of defensive 50.
Question is, why wasn't it pinged? Here's McKenzie.
This is Gary Ablett.
tumbled it forward. It's to the advantage of Riscatelli, who's one-on-one with Clark. Who's going to go to ground first? It's Clark.
Well, that was a toss.
It was paid. Free kick, Gold Coast. Advantage. No. Riscatelli's just going to hit the hot spot.
And he plays to the front.
Or at the back. They're going in all directions, the Suns. Burnell at ground level. Clever handball through to Fraser, who scooped it out, still alive. Jolly. Boot to ball, Jolly. He's not going to make it.
Just they're working for every point they get at the moment, the Suns. And certainly the Saints are working equally as hard. And the game's just really at a crucial point now. 20 points the difference.
Well, I think Paul mentioned the game's looking for some individual brilliance.
Yeah.
Well, that's it looks at the moment, isn't it? There's not a lot of flow in the game. It's just about individuals making something happen out of nothing. Probably a Milne, a Del Santo, Ablett we've seen been outstanding. Good catch by Crosby.
Yeah.
Great mark, but as you said, Ablett now, like Goddard early, Ablett's had to go back and sort of really stiffen up the back half.
Two strong grabs, one from McAvoy, one from Kazitsky, and now one at the other end by a man who's growing in stature in Rory Thompson. Good spread from Shaw, that's what he's on the ground to do.
They're going to have to go back in the corridor, they haven't got any spread.
He's kicked it out in front of two Saints players. One is Goddard.
And that was purely through work rate of the forwards. Didn't work hard enough to get out into space.
Dawson to Fisher. Gray back in board. They worked it out nicely. Play on the call, Montagna. Quick kick forward, no one home though for St Kilda. Back Thompson, fumbled it, but Harbrow cleaned up again. Now, Cracker's in space.
Same again, they're going to have to get players to work hard across the ground with this transition.
Brennan, absolute meal of it. Del Santo, there's a bit of class. Graham off a step from 50. We know he can kick a long way. Right to the line. Shepherded, but it hits the post. One and a half minutes remaining, third quarter. It's a 21-point game.
A critical period here for the Gold Coast Suns, I think. Just if they go in at three-quarter time, 21 down, wouldn't be unhappy with that. They would have probably taken that at the start of the game, but they just can't afford to give up a goal now, a late goal.
No, that's right. They've had their fair share of the ball. You just can see that they could concede a late goal here, which would really hurt them going into the break.
Well, it's in the hands of an experienced player, Bock. I'd suggest, just bang it down the line. Maybe just a stoppage here to do.
Had a man front and square, though. And Burnell runs it over. The man was Stanley in a good spot.
Conversely, a sneaky goal before three-quarter time. They'll go in absolutely pumped.
There's Stanley. Touch play on Burnell. Not quite. Shaw tried to get a hand on it. Dawson. Errant handball. Flying through Weller. Burnell picked up. Riscatelli got boot to ball. But they hold firm, the Saints. Geary. And they'll slow it down here. It's Goddard again.
Well, once again, this is, I think, his 28th disposal, and again, he's played a really good game, but I'd like to know how many of those disposals have been in the defensive 50 or the back half of the ground, Al. He really hasn't put, and that's the position he's playing and the role he's playing at the moment, but I wonder in the last quarter whether you need to put him forward and maybe make him a target and kick a couple of goals to finish the Suns off.
Well, that's right. I mean, certainly first quarter especially, most were behind the ball. He's had the 7 inside 50, so there around half-time he got plenty of the ball around the centre of the ground as well.
2-1 in that quarter, and it's not a high-scoring game here on a Saturday night. Conditions are good. The Gold Coast are just hanging in there, but the Saints have control by 21 points.
We'll see a player like Jared Brennan. If he gets hold of the ball in the forward half, he can kick 2 or 3 goals very quickly. Ablett's got his hands on the ball with 24 disposals as well, so very much game on.
Saints eyeing off possibly 6th position on the ladder with another win here.
And just Goddard going forward. I thought it was just a matter of time before that happened, Al. Just getting a real dangerous player forward of 50.
Smith knocking it out to the advantage of Ablett. Couldn't quite take it cleanly. Bouncing off of feet. Through Stanley's legs. Smith dives on it. Peake trying to tuck it under him. And eventually the umpire comes in.
And Gold Coast have persevered with the 6 forwards inside their forward 50, which I like as well. So there's plenty of space. If you get a Gary Ablett out or Aristoteli or someone like that, there's a lot of space to run into.
Stanley diving through. Commitment was there. Mackenzie's handball missed his target. Bock to clean up. Again, that one floats off the outside. Be careful. To mark for Geary. They've shut off the switch.
Well, they have. They've worked hard to shut that off.
Now just chips it to a one-on-one. Stanley and Del Santo, and Stanley's a bit stronger in the body there. Weller without it. Prestia, good hands. Ruscatelli went one way then the other. Down the line, and it's going to be another mark to, this time, Dempster.
He's done a good job, Dempster, on Brennan.
Whoops.
Look out.
Done a great job of a turnover. Oh, Lynch, he was given a gift, and he didn't unwrap it properly.
Absolute gift. You don't get too many of those from the Saints. They're very efficient in their back half, but Tommy Lynch just rushed that one a little bit.
4-15.
Yeah.
Really hard to win if you're going to kick that inaccurate. 19 scoring shots to 19.
Ablett has to stand and wait. McAvoy came through. Jones pushing it forward. Great work, Del Santo. Goddard lets it go for McAvoy. Jones had a lot of room to move because Ray was right with him. Spoil comes from Thompson. Montagna. Kazitsky had to be quick. Thompson beat him to it. And Big Red comes through and knocks it forward to Riscatelli. Off a step, high ball to the square. Lynch trying to make good position. Gave away a free kick.
There's great work, Thompson. Just 2 efforts down there, Lynchy. Fantastic for a young player.
He's only in about, I'm just guessing, about his 4th or 5th game. Fourth game, so up against an experienced forward ruckman in Justin Kazitsky. Very good effort.
So Brennan, some boot work.
Well, I got the message, get the sprigs on as he went to ground.
Gone the long stops, lads.
Interesting you're doing that in the 4th quarter.
I was going to say, he's obviously slow to get the message. Can you tell him?
They won't be missed.
Can you tell him, Colby, it's the 4th quarter?
I think the message might have come down via phone.
Goddard flipped it out and punched forward by Jones, but 2 Suns players back. One is Harbrow, the other Abbott. Spots a couple of players forward, and in the end, out of bounds.
He missed the target, but it was a good option at least. To blaze away, would have gone straight down the throat of Ben McAvoy. We'll see Ross Lyon in the coach's box. And I mean, he's got his concerns. They're far from got this game under control.
Stanley. And somehow it gets towards Riscatelli. Taylor, good tackle though from Del Santo. Ablett kept working. Stanley. He's hit that in hope. Not a good kick. Peake. Fast break the Saints. Gilbert was looking for Kazitsky, couldn't find him. Made a good tackle though. Thompson going backwards. Prestia has a man in the middle who can play on and go at Smith. Little chip pass. Swallow. Ablett wants it one-on-one. Swallow decides Bennell's a better option.
Still not in a position really to blaze away to the top of the goal square. Outnumbered 3-1 deep. It's a good choice.
He just held it up.
Probably, as the Swans used to be very good at, hitting up that pass now to the 35-metre, 40-metre mark. So the short, spearing, low one.
He's not sure where to go here, though.
It's amazing if you're patient, it does open up. Because what tends to happen is defenders tend to zone off a little bit because they think, oh, there's a midfielder dropping into space. I don't need to put as much pressure on. Or the midfielder comes into the forward 50 and then leads back out, maybe on a Del Santo or Goddard or someone who's not a real good defensive midfielder.
And this is the challenge. Soak up the pressure. Don't just blaze away now if you don't have to. Chip around again and set up again. See if something will open up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you'll hear the boos from the crowd, but you've got to resist.
Yeah, just keep working it around,
And it's a little bit closer. You can go again, Prestia. Oh, just a little slow to shore.
Now Lynch has got to run at this. Oh, and he just got in Swallow's way. Benella chance. Skews off the side, out of bounds on the floor.
Yeah, you're right. You've got to resist the boos of the crowd sometimes. Sometimes the players can get a bit jumpy because the crowd goes, oh, no, you've got to go forward. Then all of a sudden you go forward to an area where you're never going to mark it, you're never going to have a scoring shot. So just got to be patient. I like the way they worked out a lot better.
In the end, Lynch and Swallow, two of them had it. I mean, they should have got a mark between them.
Yeah.
It should have been a result.
This would hurt.
And at the other end, if they get it quickly, the free kick against Stanley.
This will hurt.
And it's going to be a shot at goal from Armitage.
And this is exactly what the Swans don't want. The Suns don't want to happen. Free kick to David Armitage, 40 metres out. It was a good kick as well. You can just see a holding free kick. Just he went to ground fairly easily, but just Stanley in the back. I think we might have had a look at the scoreboard then, Paul, actually. Look up the scoreboard.
45 metres out, he hasn't hit it. Hasn't made the distance.
I think he had a little look up to the right just to see
how the hair was looking.
How I'm looking there. Just have a look back over that one in a sec. Might have had a little gander.
Might be right.
One of the experienced campaigners, Brennan, on this occasion to kick out.
He was looking for Swallow. And coming through Gilbert. Smother was a good one. Smith didn't pick it up. Gilbert did. Peak, choice of three. Del Santo doesn't waste it. It's just been superb, Del Santo.
Yeah, he has been absolutely outstanding, no question. I think that's possession 33, 34. But again, you just see that forward of centre. He's got really good composure when he gets it in his hands. Most players there would have just got it and flung it on their boot and lobbed it just outside the top of the 50. But he had the presence and awareness just to slip it to Milne for what could be, Matty, I think his fourth goal.
He's in terrific form, Stephen Milne. You'd expect him to kick this. It's going to be close. He started to celebrate and then pulled himself up.
He did. He was
off that lap of honour there.
4 or 5
off.
steps into the lap.
Yeah.
Just had to correct.
Lucky he wasn't starting to throw skin around.
He wasn't running in the Olympics. He broke and he'd be gone.
Harbrow to Ablett, and so experienced players back there. They're just trying to get out with some clean ball.
Over the top of the contest. May first to it, but he's got to beat Clark and Dawson.
Oh, no.
He did enough. Bock still has possession. It's an up and under. Dawson came through. He's going to get it again. Half lost it. Jolly. Stanley. He did lose it. Then he threw it. They were away there, so it was an unfortunate fumble.
It was, and
did he go to kick it and got the first one knocked out of his hand a bit in that area here?
I think he just had an area.
Play.
Yeah,
oh, no, he just... oh, nice. That's a good throw.
Yeah, open hand.
Stephen hooks it back. Clever kick. Geary in the right spot. Plays on. Opens up the fat side for Kazitsky to run into, and he tries to smother it. And Brennan with the red boots on.
I don't know whether that was the right decision for Kazitsky to go to ground.
Yeah, no, he's never going to mark that ball. He really needed to keep his feet there and just trap it and maybe give off with the hand.
He's free. He spots Fraser. Now it's got to slide through to him. And he just put boot on ball.
Gee, that was bad luck. That was a
good effort.
Yeah, it was a nice kick, but yeah, really good effort there. Just a little bit more momentum on the ball would have gone through to Fraser.
It's an awkward fall onto the knees as well.
Yeah, Fisher just...
Actually, Fraser's not real flash. That knee has come up a little bit ordinary.
Let's hope he's okay.
Just looked very awkward as he hit the ground. And he's just running back towards the centre of the ground, but they might want to get him off for a minute.
Way open in the middle there.
And he's been spotted. It's Polo, Milne, and he's going to have another shot. You wouldn't think he'd miss two. This one's just a little bit further out.
Yes. Normally he's able to correct the problem from the first kick, so you would expect it. Brown's done a pretty good job tonight on him, but Milne just keeps presenting. And a nice kick through the corridor there.
he celebrated. Right on 50.
Pull that.
He didn't even start celebrating. That's a poor kick.
No, that wasn't a good one off the boot. He almost slipped. It just, yeah, he's a pretty good kick on most occasions.
Beautiful conditions. 12 goals, 30. Fraser went off with that knee. How is he, Lee?
It's his left calf, mate, so that's the complaint. We'll have to do it.
Chance for St Kilda. Polo sends it back over the top, and we get a goal.
Well, you just sense that it was either going to come from a flash of brilliance or a mistake, and I'm not too sure. I think it was Harbrow kicking it in, and there was a mistake here, a drop mark. That's an okay kick, and that's just a shocking error here. Who was that?
Nathan Cracker.
Nathan Cracker. Not a great effort there.
One the Saints needed.
Dean Polo getting the goal and just getting a real, it's a margin that gives them a lot of breathing space now, 28 points.
Well, it does. The Gold Coast Suns have had their share of ball, just haven't been able to put it through the big sticks. Likewise, the Saints have had their chances, but 1-3 to 2 points this quarter so far.
Lee, Fraser's up and about.
He is. He's just about to come back on, which is a good sign.
Montagna to Peak. He uses him, going backwards. Straightening up Graham. Peak. Eventually the kick goes forward, but Box in good position to come across. Didn't quite take it, he went to the ground. Gamble, inboard. Armitage back to Mill. Harbrow coming through. Tap back, chance for Ray. Was looking for Stephen. Came off the boot of Gilbert. Pressed here, good give back to Harbrow. It's been good tonight, Harbrow. But this is 2-on-1 St Kilda. Graham goes back, and that's a win for the Coast.
Yeah, good win in the end, and May was outnumbered, so just had to make a good contest and somehow get a stoppage. In the end, it was Graham that took the ball over the line, so good result.
Smith knocks it down, but it's Del Santo first to it again. Up and under, one-on-one, Brown and Milne. Milne tapped it forward. Clever work from Peak. He's away now. He runs into the open goal from 30 metres and kicks his second. That's better.
I don't want to be too critical of Nathan Cracker, but his last two efforts haven't been good enough. At the stoppage there, he was on Del Santo, watched it closely. Del Santo gets a clearance, and from that, Peak, a really good piece of play from Peak. Good contest from Campbell, Brown and Milne, both of them one-on-one, as you can see here. Good effort here. Well done, Milne, but terrific effort by Peak. But senior player, more senior player than some of the others, Nathan Cracker, just not good enough for the last two efforts.
Brett Peak with his second goal of the night. He's had 20 disposals, and all of a sudden the Saints out to a 34-point lead. Nice work from Milne. Also a shepherd in there from Stephen.
Yeah, important clearance for the Suns here, and just that you can feel the Saints are getting control of this game, but they need to get their big guns in around the ball, the Suns, if they're going to be any chance.
Del Santo flipped it back to Ray, who sends it forward again. Bock trying to keep it going his way. Weller took his time. Here's Peak again. He's in everything at the moment. Gamble back onto his right boot, spots a man in the middle. It's a tough one for Milne. Taylor came through. Brown's got to help out to Ablett. And he spots Weller, who can go to Swallow.
Gonna go quickly.
He's got Lynch further afield, or he goes down the line to Stanley. Looking for Lynch. He stayed on his feet. Oh, beautifully read. But the smother was there. It was beautifully read by Dempster, but in the end, Lynch ends up with it. Here's Bennell, getting it from Stanley. Over the top, they're running out of room here, the Gold Coast, though. Bennell kept going, got it from May. Harley Bennell on the wrong side of the post. He looks dangerous at times.
He does. He runs and carries the ball. He's got electrifying speed. Just see Cracker and Brennan ready to come back into the game. And as you touched on before, they're two of the experienced players, Ruzi. They really need those experienced players to stand up in this last 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think they really do. I mean, Cracker, you don't try and drop a mark, but drops an easy mark. Del Santo at a stoppage gets a clearance. 2 goals as a result of poor efforts. He really needs to get back on the field and just have a real red-hot go in the last 8.5 minutes.
Well, Ablett managed to get boot to ball just as the umpire was about to blow him for holding the ball. And that's Schneider. And as Alistair said, the Saints looking dangerous to kick a few goals late. Peak again. Have a kick around the corner. Goddard will need a good bounce and he didn't get it.
Well done from Brown. Left his direct opponent and attacked the ball and stopped Goddard from generating that shot at goal. Got to go hard.
Strong attack on the ball from Fraser. Wall one from Dawson.
And a little rub on the left ear, I think it was.
I would have thought he was lucky not to get a 50 there, just quietly.
Sorry, that was Danny Stanley's kick forward and Montagna goes back. Here's the contest. Through the middle runs Graham. Now he just hits it out in front of Schneider. Harbrow chasing. Schneider hasn't got it yet. Taylor, clever tap. To the advantage of Harbrow. Ablett back. Disposal 31 for him. Only Del Santo has touched it more. They look a bit tired here, the Gold Coast. McKenzie doesn't find Lynch. Clark to mop up for St Kilda. Goddard out wide. Stephen. Now he's just trying to wait for someone to run into a hole, and Goddard does so chips back into him. Peake is his target. He's a supreme runner, Peake, and well, a lot of players are tired at the moment. Peake just keeps going.
His direct opponent, Harbrow, I think, or Weller it is looks very exhausted.
Yeah. Going back with a spoil was May, and everybody takes a breath.
Yeah, the game's really just slowed down a little bit at the moment. Some of the more senior players of the Suns have done really well. Ablett we know, but I think box game's been terrific. Harbrow's had a really good game as well. I think he's been good. Stanley's had a tough battle with Del Santo, probably lost that one. Riccicelli's had a reasonable night.
Ablett. Well, it was enough from a contest from Riccicelli.
Oh, well done.
Shaw to Riccicelli. First back will be Gilbert. And boundary throw in again.
Now, we talk about a lot of the youngsters for the Suns are exhausted. In your experience, Ruzi, how long does it take to get enough aerobic capacity into an 18-year-old kid? It doesn't just come with one pre-season training session.
Well, I reckon it's three or four pre-seasons, and that's why it's understandable that you're really seeing a lot of tired bodies out there. They've come from an under-18 system where they don't run anywhere near as much and train anywhere near as much as what they do at AFL level. It is a real shock to the system, and it takes probably 3 or 4 years of pre-seasons to get up to, seasoned veterans like Goddard and Del Santo and Montagna. Swallow's really worked his well nicely into the game though as well.
Here is Swallow cutting through past Fraser, kept on it, threw it on the boot, and how's that for reward for effort from Swallow?
And he was mobile at the contest. At the stoppage, he was on his bike and hit the stoppage with pace. Kept the ball, importantly, kept the ball in front as well. And we see he takes off defensive side. Josh Fraser takes it out of the pack. Kept the ball in front with a bit of luck first time. Second time, some great work. And under enormous pressure, a very handy goal from David Swallow. 27 points down, still a sneaky chance of the Suns.
Goals have been hard to come by for the Gold Coast Suns. Now 5 individual goal kickers. David Swallow, very slow start, but has worked into the game.
Yeah, he's up to 21 now and a goal, and that was a really good goal. And he does look like he's got a pretty good tank because he's one that's still running and moving.
Yeah.
You mentioned he ran through the stoppage there, Alan. Really good goal, and they are, unlikely, but they're still a little bit within striking distance at the moment.
Goddard wins the clearance easily though. Harbrow. That's what we've seen from him tonight. Prepared to back himself. Shot out by Brennan to Shaw. Fraser, well, he's back with a vengeance after going off. Free kick, Gold Coast. Ablett. Could they get another one here?
Well, he's had a big night. He might just have the legs to get home from here. You have to kick it from about 53 metres.
He'll kick this for sure.
If anyone can do it, Ablett can. Crowd willing him on. 52 metres out.
Oh, yeah.
He's the best in the business.
And that was really good work from Gary Ablett and actually Nathan Cracker, who on the mark put a little block on. We see here great contest from Ablett. In front, holds his ground, gets the high contact from Jones. A bit of a pull of the jumper. Some nice work there. And just some smart work when they lined up the goal as well. Played on. Cracker put the block on, so Jones couldn't chase. So really a good set play from Ablett and Cracker, two of the experienced campaigners.
2 goals in a minute. The crowd's a little bit more excited than they were 3 minutes ago.
Well, exactly. 2 quick goals. Once again, the experienced players are getting the hand on the ball. Gary Ablett's resting forward, and he's very dangerous forward. They need another clearance here.
Fraser. Goddard can't get free. Did enough to get it to Kajitsky. Comes out the back. Some speed needed here. And they've got a mark inside 50. Nathan Box gone forward.
And you know what happened there? One of the midfielders lowered their eyes and hit up a leading target. It's one of the few times we've seen that tonight. So Cracker, very good, involved, great pass. And yeah, obviously Louis McKenna's rolled the dice and chucked his gun defender forward.
He's only kicked 1 goal for the Suns. He kicked plenty of goals when he was at the Crows. He went forward many a time. But this for 3 goals in 3 minutes to bring the margin back to 15. They'll get excited if this gets through. He hasn't got the distance. Marked on the line. Well, what an anti-climax.
Oh, it was. And just not to have a Suns player under that one to make a contest. Bit of a blue, but yeah, just the weary legs.
Kazitsky's kick out wide. They all go up. Crumbing it first, Polo.
Now that's as deliberate as the other ones.
And it's paid.
Yeah, he wasn't going to get away with that one.
Couldn't wait to play that one.
Prestia. Got a man on the other side if they can get it there.
If they can keep going.
Taylor. Oh, he's gone. He got handball to it, but this could be a quick turnover here for the Saints. If they can belt it forward. Chance for Bennell. There's a spark here from the Gold Coast. Holy Bennell, 45 metres out. Wrong side of the post again. He's got a day coming up where he's going to kick 4 or 5 quickly, isn't he?
And he's got that 4 or 5 metres of really good speed to put a gap between him and his opponent.
They've got a real spring in their step at the moment. They've got the second wind a bit. They're all over the Saints at the moment. Had a couple of real opportunities to close the gap.
6 goals, 18. But the clock now an issue for them because the Saints will work it away. No free kick there. But well played by Gilbert. Ray gave it up. McKenzie. Along the ground it goes. Goddard slipped it over. Well, a little bit of Russian roulette there from the Saints, but it falls their way. Schneider slipped. Clark.
Trouble.
Ray likewise. First man back. Brown. Got to hit a target, and he does.
Got to keep going to the far side now.
Ruscatelli. Shaw runs into a hole. Not enough on the kick. Brennan. And in the end, Montagna did well. The kick needed to be over Shaw's head. Goddard around the corner, and they'll steady here, the Saints.
And again, Rosie talked about players going to ground, and Brennan looked exhausted. 2-on-1 situation, but just had to hold his feet.
It's just so important. And now, you'll see that the Saints probably try and just milk the clock a bit, get it towards the boundary.
The Suns have it back, but they're not sure where to go here. Prestia. Big switch out to Stanley. Box running hard for him. Decides to go to Cracker. It's a poor kick.
Cracker was just on the back foot as well, so well intercepted from Polo.
And here's the measured movement here from the Saints.
Yeah, of the laces.
Just a spark from the Suns. They could have got 3 in a row. They could have got within 2 or 3 kicks and made it interesting.
Yeah, they definitely had a couple of chances there. Bock missed one. Bennell missed one. So now it's all over. Obviously, the 1:34 to go. Saints will probably just do. This is where now, even from a learning point of view, Alan, you've got to pick up a man now.
Well, that's
all
right.
the Gold Coast guys have got to go and get one-on-one, at least force them to kick it down the line.
Well, the point is, the Gold Coast Suns supporters are booing here, but it's a clear message to the players that you've got to get one-on-one right around the ground. And when there's a big man like that, you've got to spoil very well from behind. That's a good grab from McAvoy.
Taking some good marks tonight, maybe.
He's evolved as a player over the last 10 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good ruckman now.
Yep. 8 very strong marks. Long ball in, spoiled by Brown. Schneider. Armitage there. Stanley. Still going though, the Saints. They're looking for one more right at the end. They may get it because Milne has it. Not yet.
I mean, the Saints will be happy to walk away with the 4 points. They've been challenged, and as you said, the complacency coming into a game like this is always a danger. They've been in very good touch, but this will make it 8 out of 10 games, so that is a rich vein of form in anyone's language.
Yeah, and they will be in 6th position, which means if they manage to maintain it, there's still a few weeks to go for finals, which will mean they'll have a home final.
Which, after round 8, you would have put no money on whatsoever.
It was just never going to happen.
It wasn't just the fact that they only won 1.5 games, but the just team that no continuity, no confidence. There was a lot of criticism from outside, but they've worked their way through this very well.
Brown sees it over the line, and he sees it over the line on siren time. Been hard work for Ross Lyon and his crew. They maintained a good gap right throughout the evening, pushed it out to 5 or 6 goals at the end before a little spark from the Suns bring it back, I should say, and it's a 20-point margin to the Saints.
Yeah, look, they've won the game, and that's all they really came up here to do. And look, Booker to the Gold Coast, they really worked hard, and just a lack of forward 50 entries and probably a lack of a power forward. And we saw that with St Kilda as well. I don't care what sort of form Rewald's in. He worked his way back in last week, but he is a very, very important player for them. We saw that tonight. There's no question they missed him. He straightens them up. He leads. He works really, really hard. So the Saints, whilst they won't be happy with absolutely the way they play, they'll be happy to come up here, have another win, because it is hard to keep rolling on in this competition, and they are in a rich vein of form, as you mentioned, Al.
And the Suns, I mean, when we consider where they're at as far as their development's concerned, they can take plenty out of this game as well. They've had 24 shots, equalled the Saints. As you said, they pluck a big forward from somewhere, and that's going to certainly straighten them up.
Well, the big guns have been in great form for St Kilda. No bigger than Goddard and Del Santo. And Lee's got both of them.
Boys, that looked pretty difficult for the night. It wasn't, I wouldn't say, the best effort from you lads, but you got there in the end.
Yeah, it was a bit of a battle, to be honest. I mean, the ground's pretty greasy and turned into a little bit of a wet weather game. It's good to be able to come up here. I mean, they're really talented and they've got a really good midfield. So we knew we were up for a little bit today, and they gave it exactly what we expected.
BJ, they certainly did put you to it. You two blokes had plenty of the ball, but you didn't get it all your own way.
Yeah, as Dale said, they're very talented, and if you give them the room and space, they've obviously shown that they can win games of footy. So we didn't come up here underestimating them. So we just put in a good effort, and they were up for the challenge as well.
Structure-wise, difficult without Roo there. I know it looks different when I'm sure you blokes get the ball across half-back or in the middle of the ground and no Rewald.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously hard to replace him. His work rate, and I think you could see when we're coming forward through that centre-half forward area, and particularly in that first quarter when I think Bock marked about 5 or 6 in a row. So, I mean, we have to work on. We've got to get other avenues to goal, and if it's Milne or Snides, it's nice, but it obviously helps when Roo's here as well.
BJ, 6th position tonight. That must be pleasing after 8 rounds of footy this year. It wasn't looking that way, but nice to be back in the 8 and well in the 8.
Yeah, we obviously started off not as well as we wanted to, and I guess the last 7 or 8 weeks has been really positive. All we want to do is set out to improve, and that's what we're doing. We're ladder position, and I guess we can't look forward to other than next week, but we just set out to improve, and that's what we've done, and earn some respect back.
Let me guess tomorrow, Wet and Wild or Dream World?
Oh, we wish, mate. I think we're out of here like 6:30, so don't even get to enjoy ourselves up here. It is nice. We could move up here.
Well, don't go saying that. You're a Saints man. See you, boys. Thanks for your time, boys.
Half a slip of the tongue from Nick Del Santo. He just means the weather, Saints fans. Don't go mad. 76 disposals between the two of them. And the reason why they've been climbing up the ladder to that sixth position is their form.
What a great effort from Lee Colbert. Yeah, a double interview.
Big guns.
The double interview. Is that a first for the year, Al?
I reckon it is. He's really stepped it up, Colby. So great work. But as you said, very important for the youngsters to support the great players of each club. But when your stars are playing well, that's when you're going to contend for finals positions.
Yeah, no question. Del Santo, 39 possessions and a goal. Probably just felt he was marginally more effective than Goddard because a few more of his possessions were forward of 50.
They take on Fremantle next Friday night. One of the sides that they're jumping all over on the final 8. But a good win by the Saints in the end here at Metricon Stadium. Final score 74-54.